afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Girl Get Up podcast. I am your host, the Aquarian Chancellor, and this is the podcast where I share my stories. I invite my guests to come on and they share their stories, all in hopes that it inspires you, the listening audience, to go out and discover your infinite possibilities. That said, I have a guest today, Mr. T.O. Lestat. How are you today? Please share with the audience who you are and what you do.
All right, my name is Lestat. I'm originally out of Buffalo, New York. I live now out in Phoenix. As you can see, we got a nice, beautiful, sunny day behind us. I'm an MC, a boom bap artist. You know what I mean? I'm also a carpenter, master carpenter, and I was a master teacher. So I love what you're doing with the 16 to mid 20-year olds, getting them prepared. I can tell you just as firsthand knowledge. We just don't prepare them in high school. So what you're doing is a wonderful program. If you're not on this program, get invested in it. It's life skills, and that's a long time. I taught high school history for over 20 years, you know what I mean?
Okay.
In the Buffalo public schools, and then here out in Phoenix, several different districts. So one thing I will say is that as a high school teacher, I taught economics, government, social studies, history, stuff like that. We don't teach the basics. These kids leave our high schools, and they have no idea how to sign their names, most of them. How to write a check, how to apply for a job, how to do a proper interview, communicate effectively with another individual, because it's not what we know, it's who we build with and how we grow. That's how you get ahead in life. So this is a phenomenal program.
So that's it. I think that's a perfect segue to talk about your platform and how you incorporate mental health into your messaging and your artistry. Share with the audience who you are and educate me, because I'm looking around in the background preparing for the interview, and I saw, a boom bap hip hop artist. So please educate me on what that is, and then your platform and how you use that to push your message of mental health awareness.
Okay, so boom bap is, pretty much the original form of hip hop that would have come out of like the Bronx and Brooklyn in the early like 70s, I would think, roughly around there, right? It's that boom boom bap,
Yeah.
that sound, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That hip hop sound when you're like, oh, that's hip hop, you know what I mean? It's not the trap sound or the drill sound. It's part of rap. Rap is a part of hip hop, but hip hop is the overall encompassing efforts of the movement of hip hop. It's a cultural thing in a sense of music and art and graffiti and dancing. And so I spit original type hip hop, boom bap. I'm an 80s baby. And so I grew up on great MCs, Das Effects, Smith and Wesson, Black Moon, Digital Underground. These are just original pioneers of the sound. For me, I incorporate boom bap, the type of listening you have, the sonics of it, you know what I mean? But my flow, you know what I mean, is more based on like story based, or it kind of paints an image in your mind of what I'm trying to say. I'm not just talking about drilling and killing. I don't care about that. Who wants to hear about that? You want that? You got to listen to someplace else, because everybody else is doing that. So I don't want to do that. I don't even really like that type of music, negativity. I'm all about trying to be positive in my stuff, you know what I mean? And I spit more conscious rhymes. Now, my message sometimes is reality. I spit reality. You know what I mean? I talk about me, the struggles, the successes that I've been through as a person, from a young man to where I'm at today currently. Just life moments, how they happen to you. And that's just everybody, you know what I mean? So I try to incorporate, my message, which is, you got to live. You cannot let other people pull you down. You got to do you. You got to push you. You got to educate yourself. No one's going to educate you. You got to prepare yourself. No one's going to prepare you. You got to build with people. No one's going to do it for you unless you do it actively as well. And so my whole sound, Lestat, is for really the underbelly of society. You know what I mean? I kind of represent the people in society that work, that maybe have some schooling, maybe don't, but are intelligent people, because that doesn't designate whether we're intelligent or not. It's all about our drive force, you know what I mean? And so I represent kind of that underbelly of society, of all walks of life, middle socioeconomics to low socioeconomics. Not necessarily the upper class. This is not where I was raised. I'm chicken wings and beer. My mom was a teacher. My pops was a Vietnam vet and a firefighter. He built the crib. I'm a master carpenter too. I started learning, how to do for me as a young man. You know what I mean? And I've been able to be blessed because of that. I've always worked. I've always been able to do me. And music is just another outlet of that. You know what I mean? It's an expression of Todd Pitts is what my name is. You know what I mean? So Lestat is that. He representing the people that don't get to say stuff, that are sick of getting kicked on, pushed down, not working, can't get a job. I'm a felon too, you know what I mean? So I get it. And when you can't get a job, it's hard. And so I represent the disparity of life, the success in life, through my music. You know what I mean? So mental health is just one of them topics because I do suffer from mental health. And I used to be embarrassed to talk about it, but I'm not. You know what I mean? So I'm type 2 bipolar and I got ADHD. And because of this nasty divorce I've been through, how kind of just drains you and destroys you, you know, if you let it. CPTSD. So, you know, I'm not a perfect person by any means. I've been in trouble. I have mental health. I'm educated. I'm intelligent. I work hard. And therefore, I always succeed because you can't stop somebody that believes in themselves, what they're doing, and builds with other people to get to where they need to go. You know what I mean? And that's the message of HELLth. You know what I mean? So mental health is one of them. My other album I got called Insights, because it's like the insights of where I'm at, what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? I got another one about called the Baby Mama Drama EP, because I you know, I love my daughter. Like I miss my daughter big time. I'm being alienated, so I represent father's advocacy. I'm a mental health advocate as well. I work with my girl out of Buffalo, Peaches podcast. You know, Seductive Peach, the Peach podcast. On Monday nights, we do mental health Mondays. You know what I mean? So I try to actively give back to people that think, oh, well, there's no way out there. There is. If you pay attention, if you work with, if you learn, if you fail and get back up again, you'll keep moving. You just got to believe in yourself. So that's what the message
If
is
you
about.
were to ask yourself, if you look back at that fourth grader, that's what 9 and 10-year-old,
Yeah,
and
roughly.
yeah, you ask them to imagine where they will be in 20 years. When you look at all of your life experiences, would you have thought that you would take that step out on faith into music?
You know, it's crazy you said because when I was a kid, that was what I wanted to be a rock star. I always wanted to be the
Mhm.
front man of a band, you know what I mean? Because I grew up listening to like Poison and Motley Crue. I'm an 80s baby, you know what I mean? Digital Underground, Fat Boys, Poison, Motley Crue, and Michael Jackson Bad, you know what I mean? And that was the albums we was bumping. And so, yeah, I wanted to be a rock star. But then I didn't think that was ever feasible, obviously. You know, nobody does it. That's a dream and it's what you want to do. But then reality kick in and you got to do what you got to do. And so I went to school. I went to college. Did well in high school. Got my degree. I would have told myself, keep pushing for you. Don't give up on that rock star dream. Maybe I could have been spitting 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Because when I was a college kid, I used to freestyle. I get in competitions with people, and you know, I wanted to record a tape, but it just wasn't that moment in hip hop yet. You know what I mean? In a sense, for a couple of reasons. You know, I'm an Italian MC that just wasn't in the forefront as nobody cared as they do now. You know what I mean? Like back then it was very, you know, you really had to be dope spitting. You know what I mean? Like there
Right.
was Vanilla Ice and think about it. You know what I mean? And so there wasn't a real lot of dope white MCs out there. Beastie Boys maybe, dude from Bushnikin and them guys, MC Search. That was about it. You know what I mean? And so I just never thought that would be a reality. You know, I mean, that I could be even in the mix with the cats I'm spitting with right now, kids I talk to right now.
But
Never thought it would be
microphone
reality.
maestro. And then
Microphone Maestro, I love that you love that. I
yeah,
love
I
that you
do.
love that.
So when you said boom bap, and now I understand because I can hear it in the song. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting in like the Insane Clown Posse. Now that you say that, I can see that. I can see that. But one of the lyrics that you had, or lyrics that you had in that song, is that you felt like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that society lacks empathy for mental health and the issues that surround mental health. Could you
Yeah,
expound on
society does.
that?
They just don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Society doesn't. The society has a weird way of putting down things they don't understand. Instead of saying, "What is it? Why are we doing it? What's going on? How could this help? Where is it from? I don't understand. So get out of here." And that's society's attitude towards
Yeah.
everything. You know, and it's almost built into us because we're taught that unfortunately in the school systems and in the movie system and in the music system and in the religion system and in work society, you either sink or swim. That's
Yeah.
it. And,
Yeah.
and that's our mentality with everything. And I'm a firm believer, you know, what do they always say with humans, you know, if they'll get you, you know, we're it's fight or be killed, kill or be killed. I said, no, man, I don't think humans are really like that, son. I think humanity is originally let's build. And we don't got to
Hmm.
fight each other. What do we got to fight for? You know what I mean? And so with that mentality early on in humanity, it's me versus you versus me and you building. There's a difference in the mentality there. Positive outlook, negative. You know what I mean? And so society automatically builds that down on us. And that we don't do it. It's just built into our traditions. built into our family values, and our family's a big thing. But society is, and I do represent men's mental health more obviously than women's. I'm not a woman, but I represent mental health in general. You know what I mean? But men's mental health, you're not allowed to talk about it. You can't. You're a punk. You're this. You're that. You know, I say it on my Dark Hole, that song Dark Hole. How I end the first verse, I'm like, but they don't understand. You know, they look at you like less of a man, but you just don't understand. You know, because it's like, I'm talking about my family right there at that point. Even they will be like, come on, man, you're just sad. You're just this. No, man, like the sadness, you can go through the day. Depression, you can't get out your bed. You can't get into the shower. You can't eat. I mean, there's a difference. And I'm well aware of, and society is just kind of starting to say, okay, there is maybe a mental health
You
problem.
consider yourself an independent artist.
Yes.
What have you learned about yourself since you started and now? What is that most valuable lesson that you've learned about yourself?
Valuable lesson about being an indie artist?
Because you know that journey, you're responsible for every aspect of your career, from marketing to promotion to creation process, for every aspect you are responsible for. So throughout that journey, what have you learned most about yourself?
Most important thing is, number one, I would say this: do you. Don't switch up gears. Don't change lanes. If you like what you're doing and you're feeling it, then that's what you do. Just because someone else says this could sound better, okay, cool, then do it. Take what I did and you do your thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to be told what to do. That's one thing I've switched with. You know, because my music is, you know, I use bigger words. I do. And I've had people say, hey, you know, I can't understand what you're always saying. So I'm just speaking English. Like you can go get your knowledge game up, son. Like I'm not gonna dumb down so you can understand when there's probably a million people that understand. You gotta step up, dog. I'm not dropping down. And so I would always say, do you, number one thing along the way. Never switch gears. Don't switch lanes unless you want to. Don't let people dictate, you know, what you're doing, because it doesn't affect them.
So let me ask you this. Do you think it's a lot of misconceptions that come with the end of doing your artistry independently? Because, and the reason why I say that is because we started off talking about my program and professional development and stuff like that. And for me, what I see is that a lot of people across any cultural background, that there's a misconception that to be an independent artist, that you are automatically, as soon as you get out there, you're going to be able to eat off your work. You know what I mean? That you put out. Could you clear up that misconception? Because it takes
great. I know.
Grind behind the
gross
thing.
Misconception. Here's the thing: like, if your music is going to make you money eventually, but you got to put money to push it. Like here, I use this example all the time. If I started a coffee shop around the corner and I didn't market to anyone, I put no promotion in the papers, nobody knew my coffee shop was there. How am I going to pay the bills if no one's buying coffee? Who bought the coffee? If I don't have coffee to serve, why would they come there? So you've got to it costs money. You have to fund it. So it's like the misconception is you're going to get out there and you're not going to have to work. It is work. Music is work. It doesn't just do itself. It doesn't write itself. It doesn't buy its own beat. It doesn't make its own beat. It doesn't record, engineer, mix, master itself. That's work. And so, like, people are like, if you think that misconception, I'm just going to go and we're good. Man, when I made that mental health album, I was at my buddy's house, Cracker Rican, my engineer, up for 8-9 straight days, like 20 hours a day in the lab. We didn't leave the studio. We ate in there. I slept in there. It was just, that's what we did. 10 straight days, straight 20 hours a day. Couple hours of sleep, back to work. Couple hours of sleep, back to work. It's work. So, you know, you have got to be prepared for that. You got to have money. You got to work to get money. I don't know how else to get money. You can get it illegally, but here's the thing: if you ever been to jail, it ain't fun there. It's no place you want to be. So it's like, oh, I'll do this. You got to take into caution that whatever you do in life, you reap the rewards and the consequences. So you got to think long term, plan just like anything in life. You know?
Yeah.
Cats think it is. You just go out and you're rapping and you're this. No. It will take 10 years before maybe somebody even notices you if you do it the right way.
You say if you do it the right way.
If you do it the right way. If you're not doing it the right way, no one's ever going to notice you. You're one artist amongst what? I think the thing is 1 million songs a day get put up into Spotify.
Yeah.
How are you going to swim in that stream? For real.
Yeah,
You
finding
better bring a life
balance
jacket.
in your life because you want to do the or you want to continue with what you love, excuse me. But then you also, you want to experience life as well. You want to experience your kids, you want
Exactly.
to experience going on vacations and you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
still gotta be a family
I-
man. You gotta, because family to me is everything. I'm Sicilian. And I very much believe in family. I'm a huge proponent. I got my daughter, I got my two brothers, my sister, and some closer family members like cousins and uncles that I try to keep up with. Because if you don't have them in your life, if I don't, I realize this with this divorce. You'd be surprised how many people bounce on you when you're at your lowest point, and you ain't got nobody who's there when you call and picks up for the fourth time. You know what I mean? That day, because you're depression. Those
Yeah.
people care about you. And
Excited,
so, family, I love these interviews, man, because it gives me a chance to be me, man, and see who Lestat is. To the fans out there, I love you guys. Keep rolling with me, man, for real.
We're gonna include all of your information in the show notes so everybody can go and check out and find a song that they like for themselves, especially like I
Yeah,
said, you are a mental health advocate. And that is one of the things that I love to talk about because our personal health, including mental health, is what's going to catapult us to what I would call define your utopia, like your version of success. It starts with your mindset first. So
absolutely, a winner growth mindset. And when
mhm.
you're in a state where depression plagues you, anxiety is worse than depression almost, but they're both
Fear.
worse. Fear,
Mhm.
sadness, loss, confusion, any of those emotions that can lead you to your mind being not 100%. You know what I mean? It's off. It's drifting. Chemicals or whatever they're doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm a
yeah,
firm believer with your think, it comes out in your actions and it encourages us. And when we're here at our functioning at our highest point, we can then find that ability to see ourselves in other people. So that goes and translates in how we treat each other. What legacy do you want to leave
empathy.
behind with your brand and your music?
I want to be ultimately in the class of pool of dope MCs, bar spitters. There's rap, there's all this great music out there, but spitting bars is a different level of hip hop. You know what I mean? When you could go through the song, because I surf the pocket. If you see what I'm doing in these tracks, I'm very rarely writing a beat. You know what I mean? I'm in and out of the pocket, whatever I want to flow with it, and I just whatever the lane is doing, I'm matching my word volume, how I stretch the word, what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Go run that again, play that album again. That's what I want to be known as, a cat that you're like, damn, this dude spits. This guy is saying something. I'm not
Right.
just rhyming words to rhyme words. Like everything I say is very intentional. The word play off of each other, the syllable count, how I'm sometimes rhyming different parts of the words. If you listen to it, the flow of it. You know what I mean? And so, like, I take pride in that, and I want to be known as someone that, this guy crafts ill bars, and he got a message in his songs.
Yeah.
And I try to come across with a message. You know what I mean? I don't want to bring a message of negativity because words are powerful, like we say, and what we are is what we become. I'm gonna put out
Mhm.
positivity, conscious rhymes to let you know it's okay, man. What you're going through, you're not alone. It's all right. You're not weird. You're not different. You're not isolated. I'm here. This is what I'm talking about. And I go out with that mental health album. I went out on a limb talking about depression and suicide, and this is what I was thinking. I was embarrassed at first. I didn't even submit those records like in I didn't submit them records in like when I'm going up in things that I do, you know what I mean? To build a
Mhm.
name. I
Mhm.
can't put that out talking about killing myself, I don't feel good in my mind. And then I got like a couple of them. I was like, this is a dope album. And then I
Yeah.
came up with the concept. I'm like, what if I'm going to a doctor's visit? And that's the format of the flow of
Let me
the
ask you
format of
this that you said
mental health.
that because going into it with that mindset and then you look at now going in you look at the stream numbers on that album, what do you think about that? Like, do you like, dang, I made a bet? Like, never underestimate yourself, never
Yeah,
underestimate
don't underestimate, because
yeah.
here's the thing: you don't know what people need to hear. And
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer. Do you? If you really think it's important, and you're trying to make some sort of change, you're not going to change the world. Let's be realistic. We can't be silly. But I don't want to change the world. I want to change the people around me so they can change the people around them and around them. And that's how you make an impact. So if you can even get one person to be like wanting to have hurt themselves that day, because I've been there, unfortunately, it's not a good place to be mentally, yo. And so if you could change one person's mentality, you do big things, man. So what if they listen to my track and they're like, oh shit, he's talking about killing himself. He didn't, he overcome, he's thinking this out loud, doing this out loud. Music is my therapy. It's what I started it for in 22. You know what I mean? To get out my head. And so if I can help somebody, that's perfect. I never thought like people would want to hear it, but it does. It smacks. I'm on DJ stations with it. People are playing the records, and it's like, all right, cool, man, because they mean a lot to me. They're very personal songs.
I always leave off on asking my guests to, because this is a platform of inspiring people to believe in their infinite possibilities. Could you please leave the guests with an inspiring message? But this whole podcast episode was like dope to me. But go ahead.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. This was a fun. And this is why I like doing interviews with people because, all right, and I got a lot of interviews out. If you hit up my link tree, I got them all listed up there. That's why I was talking about that earlier. I like to put them together so my fans could get to them, because sometimes they don't even know what you don't know exists. You don't know exists. My message to the audience is build. It's like build, move forward, try, fail, try again, fail again, pick yourself back up and fail again, and then get going. You know what I mean? Don't stay there. Get up. You know what I mean? And that's all.
Well, thank you, T.O., for hanging in there with me today. Hang on. I'm going to send you off the right way with everyone else. We will see you next episode. Take care, everyone.